Hello, boys and girls, they, them, and everything in between. Today, I want to celebrate the wonderful contributions to gaming made by Sweet Baby Inc. and the lovely CEO Kim Belair by roasting the shit out of them. So sit back, strap on, and enjoy the show.
I'm Kim Belair. I'm a writer, I'm a narrative designer, I'm extremely nervous, and I'm the co-founder of a little narrative development company called Sweet Baby Inc. We do narrative development in games and kind of beyond, and we try to bring a lot of inclusion, diversity, and new ideas kind of to the industry.
AKA, we bring you shit like Suicide Squad and Forspoken, the latter of which was so great that it shut down an entire studio of 150 people. Because, you know, Square Enix was like, this game is too good. We can't allow it to exist. You need to shut this shit down before you keep making us any more money. Or as the Japanese would say, besarame.
I've been a professional writer for about 12 years. It's important to kind of give context to the way I learned about representation as a woman of color, and I think the way that a lot of marginalized people kind of get socialized when it comes to topics like this.
Well, damn, if you're considered a professional that comes up with shit like this, I hate to see what an amateur will produce. Even my asshole would make better art and it would smell better too.
I wrote about myself a lot, and I would put myself into a lot of art, into a lot of narratives. Got to high school. And suddenly, for the first time in my life, I got told that the stories that I was writing and the things that I was creating for and about people who resembled me were not real stories and they were not right stories. And this was to the point that I received a list that I'm sure many of you have received that was, here's a list of authors and stories that are legitimate. And as you can imagine, they were, mostly men and almost exclusively white.
I mean, if your writing was anything like what it is now, I'm surprised they didn't just kick your ass out and focus on someone with actual potential. Because apparently no amount of teaching or literature can help your sorry ass. As a matter of fact, you and your whole company are so sorry, none of y'all can even write a check.
All I wanted out of this whole life was to be a writer. And I wanted that so bad that I kind of said, okay, well, what do I need to be legitimate? And I spent like actual years just writing about white men, because I thought, okay, I'm making art now.
Bitch, you can barely write about women. I sincerely doubt that you were in charge to write anything about men. And if that was honestly your thought process about making art, you are not a victim. You're just a pendeja.
And I think that that's actually shown in the way that we manage representation, which we still consider it this like deviation from something that is normal. And representation is this like very, very scary and very uncertain thing. And if we do it wrong, or if we don't do it, accurately, or if we kind of take a risk, we might get shouted down, and that fear is enough to stop us. And I think like that sucks.
No, what sucks is your analysis, bitch. There is nothing normal in video games when compared to reality, and that is what makes them special. You can play and create whatever you want. There are no rules.
Let's talk about video games.
Finally!
To begin, a lot of the work that I do is in narrative consultation and narrative design. And one of the things that I offer as part of, my list of services is risk assessment and sensitivity reading. And so recently I was consulting on a project that was a dating simulator.
Fuck! Dating sims are video games! Yeah, I said it. Fuck off, you sad sack of shits. Lonely bastards.
The love interest is on a date with you, and they ask you a very simple question, and it's, what was your ex like? I played through that, and I realized something that they hadn't really seen, and it's that this question was deeply gendered. When we treat, I guess, cis, hetero, male characters as the default, and they say something like, hey, my ex is a monster, what we're being asked to assume is that that person has a crazy ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, there's crazy bitches out there just like you, Kimmy.
I asked, hey, what if I'm playing as a woman?
Careful, Kimmy. Don't upset the non-binary folk. Things. Whatever.
Because what I had to explain very delicately was that if I'm playing as a woman, and I'm assuming that I'm interacting with a woman, and we don't know about my ex, there's an upsettingly high likelihood that when I say to another woman, my ex was a monster, what I'm referring to was an abusive situation rather than just an immature joke.
Kimmy, men get bitch slapped too. And I also cry, Kimmy. I cry. Lloro por ti.
We need sensitivity readers. We need risk assessment. And these are like, again, important services that I literally like list on every PDF that I send out to be like, hey, I can do risk assessment and sensitivity reading.
What the fuck is she doing with her arms? Like if she's here to save the day or whatever the fuck. What the fuck? This shit is so stupid. Look, it's diversity. It's inclusion. No, it's super woke, bitch.
Imagine me now as a player, because this is my go-to example, and it's something that like I talk about all the time, and it's the first time that I ever made a black character in a video game. But for a really long time before this, when I was offered like a character customization screen, I was like, well, I can't put myself in there because that's weird and not what video games are. And so I like made some like stubbly white dude protagonists, even when I had like every option available to me because I didn't want to feel like I was putting too much of myself into this world where I didn't belong.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Tú eres una pendeja.
But anyway, the first time that I actually made a black protagonist was in Mass Effect in 2010. Jacob is a black man, he's a Marine, and he's your first kind of like point of contact. So your first interaction with him, you're like crouching behind cover and you're having like a close quarters conversation. And when this happened in the game, it was this really powerful and remarkable moment for me because it was two black characters talking one-on-one, and neither of them is cast as a criminal, they're not a sidekick, they're not a savage, they're not a stereotype, they're not a gang member. Holy moly, representation is cool.
I love how she talks as if there has never been black characters in video games. And if there were any, they were only portrayed in the negative context. What about Barrett from Final Fantasy? Sergeant Johnson from Halo? Cole from Gears of War? Tiger from Tekken 3? Parappa the Rapper, which was voiced by a black guy? Or how about Blade? There's a multitude of different cultures and creeds in thousands of video games. All you're doing is stirring up bullshit that isn't even there to begin with.
So you're not actually catering to one tiny group, you're catering to everyone who's going to be playing it. It's across the board. And that's a lesson I think that we keep failing to teach. Because we keep saying, okay, this one's for you guys, this one's for you guys, and like this one over here, like you can have it.
Oh, I'm sorry, well, shit. I forgot to look at the label of my Super Mario World copy where it says, only for Italians, turtles, and plants. Well, shit. I guess I can only play games like Samba de Amigo.
A pseudo fun fact about me, that's slightly fun,
I highly doubt you even know the meaning of fun, bitch.
is that I actually have a marketing degree. Despite like the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males. And we cater almost exclusively to them.
Oye, pendeja. Why are you pretending as if only white people play video games? That's like saying Japanese-made games are only for Japanese and for no one else, which is retarded as fuck. And I don't know if you knew this, Kimmy, but Nintendo's a Japanese company, and we get a lot of games from Japanese gaming studios. Konnichiwa, Rikuda. How you doing, baby? You about as fine as a tall glass of Bacardi. Hey, baby. Where'd you go? ¿Dónde va? What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Okay. Okay. I think I'm done.
And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, you know, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them the way that we cater to like a picky baby. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go, you love it, eat this, eat this, eat this. So that then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which is be like, whoa, no, thank you. I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do. just in case these picky babies don't want to play your games.
So basically, if you criticize or don't like any of the bullshit that companies like Sweet Baby Inc. have been churning out, then you're considered to be an ignorant ass man-child who's too stupid to appreciate quote-unquote real art and innovation. In that case, change my diapers, bitch, because I'm never buying any of your shit, and you better bring a lot of handy wipes, because I'm going to give you a lot of what comes out of your mouth.
But I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here.
Bitch, have you looked in the mirror? I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in case if you hadn't noticed, you could use a little bit of suntan, and I'm just saying, go out to the beach or something, cause something here is a little bit too clear. If you catch my drift.
I think that when we look at you, we say, okay, you can't possibly enjoy this. But I think they want also, and maybe you want also, to experience new and different stories. I think we need to step out of this rule that like white men can enjoy fantasy worlds, aliens, sci-fi, monsters, anything, so long as it's through a lens that looks exactly like them. Video games are fun, and if we work hard enough, we can actually make them fun for everyone.
More like ruin shit for everyone. Look, video games have always been for everyone, and there's gamers from all around the world. There's no such thing as gamers feeling excluded just because they don't see their flag in a video game, at least not sane ones. As a gamer who also happens to be a Latino, I never gave a shit where games came from or who was made by. The only thing that matters is that the game is fun to play. That is it. Mind you, the gaming conference is about video games, and not once did this bitch ever talked about that. This is a baby that has gone sour, and it needs to be sucked up. So I'll see you guys later. I gotta go and catch me a ghost baby. Oh, sweet pea!